In the spring of 2025, all the members of Los Angeles County Council members unanimously approved to pay a penalty to people who had been housed in foster care homes over the past decades and had been sexually abused. When I heard this on the National Public Radio, I felt terrible. I was like, oh my gosh, imagine having had to go to a foster care home because your own home was terrible condition and unlivable, and then being sexually abused while in the foster care home. But I knew one of these people who had been taken to foster care home. My hairdresser lady at the time was this single mother in her late 50s whose son had asked her to take custody or care of his daughter, the 14-year-old daughter, because her mother had been found to be a drug addict. And I assumed that she was going through rehab, or maybe the home wasn't the place that this 14-year-old should be living in. So the grandma took her in, enrolled her in the best high school that she could. She was even upset that she couldn't enroll her in a better middle school because her home was south of a certain boulevard, as opposed to north a certain boulevard here in West LA. I noted that she was pampering her. She brought her to the salon a couple of times. Then she started telling me that the 14-year-old began coming home late, and it sounded like she was hanging out with the wrong friends. She threatened to disconnect her phone for a few days, just try to draw boundaries for her when she could come home, and try to hang out with good people. The 14-year-old called Department of Child Protection Services, and she was taken to a foster care home in East Los Angeles, 60 miles away, to live with other teenagers and this couple who housed children who needed foster care homes. When I heard this, I was like, oh my gosh, how could that home be safer and better for her? How can they do this to this 14-year-old and the grandma? The grandmother had to pay $2,200 in attorney fees to get her granddaughter back, and she did not dare to draw boundaries for her again, because next time she would be taken away, she had to probably pay $4,400, and then maybe even plus other penalties. I mentioned this to an attorney patient of mine and asked why should we taxpayers be paying $4 billion in penalties. And it, in my rough estimate for the number of people who work in the Los Angeles County, it would be about $4,000 in taxes extra. That's if Los Angeles County didn't have to sell bonds to pay interest, and if they did sell bonds and interest, it will be thousands and thousands of dollars in extra taxes for us. So why should we be paying taxes for these people who were sexually abused in foster care home? We've done nothing wrong. If anything, we paid our taxes, and they should go after the people who did such acts, if any of them are still alive and around. The attorney patient of mine said, well, the attorneys usually go after the deepest pockets. That's who they sue. And in this case, they've sued Los Angeles County. And I guess because all the members are Democratic and they have no issues in raising taxes and paying up, they've all agreed for us to pay. As I mentioned, my objection to this whole saga to other patients, another lady told me that when her daughter was 2 years old, her husband was taken to an army duty, and she placed the 2-year-old in daycare so that she could go to work. Soon after, the 2-year-old they couldn't sleep at nights and would keep crying. She took her to the pediatrician. The pediatrician told her, let her just cry. So she didn't know any better. This was her first child. She let the baby cry. Two cops knocked on the door of her condo, came in, inspected the 2-year-old all over, looking for sexual abuse, looked all over the apartment for drugs and alcohol, didn't find anything. And on their way out told her that if they're called again, they'll take the child away to foster care home. This girl slept with her mother in her bed till she was 15, because of the fear that the child would be taken away. I have a friend who works for the Department of Mental Health in Los Angeles. I asked her about Department of Child Protection Services, and she said, don't bother them, they do a lot of good. Then a few weeks later, she told me that one of the psychologists that she works with was away in Eastern Europe, and had called her to have access to a file of a patient whose child was taken away to foster care home, and wanted to contact Department of Child Protection Services and tell them that this child shouldn't be really taken to foster care home, and the parent should be given another chance. So even according to this mental health worker, the parents of the child should still be taking care of their child. I don't know how old that child was when taken away to foster care home. Perhaps there is a reason why we don't have a Nobel Prize in the field of psychology, because there may be no right or wrong. And a psychologist may claim that a certain way of raising a child is proper, and then 5 years later another one rises up and sort of proves or claims that no, raising this other way is better. But in these three instances that I know of, the Department of Child Protection Services was wrong. And maybe we should ask Elon Musk to come and fire everyone in the Department of Child Protection Services and just have a new paradigm, a new way of screening for who should be taken away to foster care home. Taking money from people who work and handing over $1 billion to these attorneys who have brought forth this case against Los Angeles County. And it's not gonna solve anything. I'm really sorry for these people who were sexually abused while in foster care home, but taking money from us, workers, it's like stealing from us. Why should I or my medical assistant be working, paying taxes, and how is that going to protect and prevent other children to be sexually abused if the Department of Child Protection Services keeps on doing what they do? I wish that I was the founding father of the United States. I wish I would ask the lawmakers to set the laws in a way that no one steals, no one stolen from, no one commits murder, no one is murdered, and no one gets into a sexual act that doesn't lead to the happiness of both parties. And I think if we focused on this, we would have a whole different set of laws. We would screen better or in a different way to take children away to place them in foster care homes. But as Barbara Brown Taylor explained in another NPR Air Talk podcast, in the United States, we hate Jews and Judaism so much that we just, I guess, can't set the rules in this way. If you please share this video, leave comments, so that more and more of this non-justified abduction of children to foster care home can be disclosed. And maybe we can have a positive change in the Department of Child Protection Services and less children in the future would be sexually abused. Somehow we live in a blue state in California, and our lawmakers think that what really makes this society better is just lawsuits and feeding attorneys. That's why our governor even raised how much attorneys can be paid in medical malpractice cases to make it more profitable for attorneys to sue. I'm a dermatologist, and I've listened to podcasts and have read how important hormone replacement, for instance, is for perimenopausal and menopausal women to preserve their brains, their bones, their health. Yet many doctors refuse to prescribe these to women because the conclusion of the studies that were done in the 90s are flawed, and the doctors are worried about being sued for ordinary things women die of. This paradigm of lawsuits is not right, and it just hurts the very people we are trying to protect. And again, I hope that you share and leave comments, and if you have a way of reaching Los Angeles County Council members, maybe we can make a change and stop paying payments to the attorneys and these people who've been sexually abused, because we haven't done anything wrong as taxpayers. Los Angeles County is scheduled to pay the victims and their two attorneys beginning January 1st, 2026. I invite you to contact the LA County elected council members, and you can locate them on lacity.gov website, and voice out your opinion that why should taxpayers, many of them work very hard, on some days they're exhausted after work, and so much money should go in the pocket of attorneys. And I'm sorry for people who've been sexually abused, but we taxpayers have had nothing to do with it. They should really go after people who've done such crimes and punish them.